What's up, everybody? It's NFL boy Brandon, and me and Mr. McDolphin are here tonight. We're going to be breaking down my NFL post-draft power rankings. So you guys probably seen in the last podcast that we did. We already did this. We did a power ranking, post-draft power ranking on our podcast channel. But over here on my channel, we do all 32 teams. So we're going to be breaking down a post-draft power rankings of my own. And then, so basically the way it's going to work is tonight, I already got my post-draft power rankings set. I'm going to read you guys 1 through 32, and then Dad's going to give some inputs and put where he would have.
And I got some questions. I got some questions for you.
So Dad already knows the power ranking. I already sent in the group. Dad, in case you didn't see, Rich just texted saying he's not going to make it tonight.
Yeah, that's who I was texting.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, shall we get into this, Dad?
Hold on before we get started. Yeah, before we get started, I was hoping Rich could be on here because sorry, my phone's going off because the NFL East podcast, on behalf of the NFL East podcast, we made you a birthday present, Brandon. We think you do such a great job over here at NFL Boy Brandon, and you're a part of our podcast, and so being a part of our podcast family, we wanted to make you something for your birthday. So everybody, he had a birthday on Friday, so there you go, Cinco de Mayo. You ready?
Yep.
All right, let's do this. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
That is sick as hell, bro.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah,
that's a birthday present. You can have that. You can use it whenever you want for your show. Kept the same theme as the NFL East podcast, but gave you your own slogan, gave you your own images. So yeah, it's pretty badass. But play it as much as you want. That's your video. So there you go. Happy birthday, man.
Shit, thank you very much. All right, guys. So thank you. First and foremost, thank you to the NFL East for making that for me. Guys, by the way, if you haven't checked out NFL East, make sure you go to youtube.com/NFL East. That's where me, my dad, and Uncle Richard do our podcast every single week. So make sure that you're checking it out. All right, guys, let's hop into the show. We're going to pull up my power rankings. I'm going to read them off 1 through 32 to you.
Let's go, Brandon.
Hey, let's go. What's up, Uncle Gus? Yeah, so we're going to pull up my power rankings. I'm going to read them off 1 through 32 to you guys, and then Dad's going to read after I get done reading. So here we go. We got them pulled up. All right, so first and foremost, I don't think it's any kidding here. We all know it's Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is just on another level at quarterback. He's ridiculous as fuck. So that shouldn't shock anyone. Now this one is a little bit questionable. I got Cincinnati at 2 because we know how the Bengals are year in, year out. They're right up there. They're making it to the playoffs. They've shown us that they can beat Kansas City. They've shown us that they can beat Buffalo. So I have I have Cincinnati at 2. I have Philadelphia at 3, and I put Philadelphia at 3 here instead of 2 because their schedule gets a little bit harder this year. How are they going to look? Are they going to be the same Philadelphia Eagles that we're used to seeing? Only time will tell. I got San Francisco at 4. Shouldn't be any surprise there. They have a great defense. They have one of the best defenses in the National Football League. I really like what I've seen from Brock Purdy in his stint at quarterback. You know, and it's pretty shitty being that organization that you have to go Brock Purdy way after giving up what 2 or 3 first round picks just to move up to 3 to get Trey Lance, and it doesn't look like he's going to pay out for you. 5, I got the Dallas Cowboys. Again, this could be questionable. A lot of people's probably going to especially Uncle Gus in the chat is probably going to talk shit to me for this. But yeah, I think Dallas is right up there, man. They got one of the top defenses. You know, yes, I understand the whole Dak Prescott thing, throwing too many interceptions last season. But outside of that, like Dak Prescott, when healthy, is easily a top 5, top 10 quarterback, in my opinion. Number 6, I got the Buffalo Bills, and only for one reason. How's Josh Allen going to do? We've noticed well, I don't know about you guys, but me and my dad have really, Dad, and Rich have really noticed the last 2 or 3 years that Brian Daboll has been gone. Josh Allen, man, has been declining really badly. Last year, he was like one of the top quarterbacks for most interceptions in a red zone. He couldn't get scores when he got in the red zone and shit. So I got Buffalo at 6 for that. I got Miami at 7. You could possibly put Miami.
Let's go.
You could possibly put Miami higher, but the Tua factor comes in. How's Tua going to do? Is Tua's career going to end this year? If he takes another concussion, it's a possibility. So that is why I got Miami at 7. 8, I got Jacksonville, and this should be, again, no surprise. They got Doug Peterson on there. He came in. He was a great head coach, man. He turned that organization around. Trevor Lawrence played great. They made it to the divisional round and only lost by 7 to the Kansas City Chiefs, and they were hanging right in there with them, man. I thought they were going to beat them for asserting the stand during that game, Dad. I don't know about you, but I legitimately thought they had a shot.
Yeah.
All right, number 9, got the New York Jets. I already fucking know, Dad. Yeah, I already know you got some questions for me about this damn rating, and I already know some people is going to be upset about this. But listen, okay, New York, they had a good team last year, okay? Now they get a man by the name of Aaron Rodgers. That's the biggest question mark for me. How is he going to look this season? You know, is he learning their system or are they learning his? He's also 40 years old. And, you know, I don't know. It's just a big question mark for me right there. Number 10, I got the New York Giants. Shouldn't be a surprise. New York is on the rise. They have been since last season. They made the playoffs. They looked great all season long. Brian Daboll won Coach of the Year. That was an honor for him. Josh didn't work well with Brady. Oh, my God. All right. Anyways, yeah. So and the New York Giants this all season got Daniel Jones some weapons, and fucking what the hell is his name? Darren Waller, and then we already know that Wan'Dale Robertson's going to be coming back, and then they drafted Jalen Hyatt as well. So now he has a pretty good receiving core. At number 11, I got the ball.
Hey, hold on just a minute, Brandon. Hold on just a minute. That's your top 10.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's break it down. Top 10. The only question I really have for you, and I think you did a good job explaining yourself, is how in the hell can you put the Cincinnati Bengals above Philadelphia? I just don't see it. Philadelphia went out with a bang. That was Jalen Hurts' best game he's ever played was in the Super Bowl. Yeah. So he can obviously play. And this is a post-draft power ranking. They didn't do anything but get stronger in the draft. So I really don't. I don't think Cincinnati had as good as an offseason as Philadelphia. I would have kept Philadelphia at 2 and maybe Cincinnati or San Fran at 3. But the whole rest of your top 10, I really like.
Yeah,
I do. I like it. And I agree with you. And I don't have a problem with Jacksonville being at 8. They that come behind win in the playoffs over the Chargers was a great comeback to prove that they, that young second year going into his third year quarterback can really play good and step up in the big game. Yeah, so that's cool. And like you said, it's the Aaron Rodgers factor. That's why the Jets is the only team in the in your top 10 that did not make the playoffs last year. Well, guess what? They would have made the playoffs if they had Aaron Rodgers. So, so there you go. And we'll just have to see how that goes. But I really do like your top 10. The only thing I would not have done was put Cincinnati above Philadelphia.
Yeah, and I 100% get that, Dad. I if Philadelphia comes out and plays like they did this past season, then yeah, I think they go back over top of Cincinnati. But I don't know. It's just a question.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Uncle Gus because he says you shouldn't put him above the Colts either.
Yeah, I know. I know. I've seen that.
Good job, Uncle Gus.
But no, yeah, it's the bigger factor for me, Dad. Jalen Hurts has been in the league for 3 years now. He went to the
playoffs. He went to the playoffs.
He's been good. If he proves. If he plays again this season like he did last season, I think you have to admit that the man is a, top tier quarterback. And then the other question becomes for me, and I know that you said that they addressed it in the draft, and they did, but you lost people like C.J. Gardner-Johnson and like 4 or 5 other defensive players for you that you already knew how they were going to be. We don't know how Nolan Smith or Jalen Carter is going to be. Okay. Can Jalen Carter stay out of trouble?
Cincinnati's a great team, so I'm okay with them being in the top 3. I don't have a problem with that at all.
All right, and then moving on to the top 15, I got the Baltimore Ravens at 11. Again, shouldn't be a surprise. They did what they had to do and paid their quarterback finally. He got top-tier money. He got a 5-year, $260 million contract, talking about Lamar Jackson for anyone that didn't hear. They also went out and signed Odell Beckham Jr., and they also took Zay Flowers out of the draft. And I feel like that's going to be a badass wide receiver tandem for Lamar Jackson, who you already had a threat for. And yeah, now it gets a little worse with Zay Flowers and Odell being there. So anyways, moving along here at number 12, got the Seattle Seahawks. Again, shouldn't be a surprise with Seattle here. Did they do good in the playoff game? Not really. I would have liked to seen Detroit versus San Francisco. But my God, what a season Geno Smith had this season, Dad. My God, he made himself look like a top-tier quarterback. Can he do that again? Only time will tell. But the man all season long was great. That's why I got them there. At number 13, I got the Detroit Lions, and this shouldn't be a surprise either. Jared Goff, man, had a redemption year. He said, "You wanted to trade me, Los Angeles? Well, let me show you what I can do." And he put up numbers with Detroit last season. Dan Campbell is a hell of a coach. He's only making that franchise better. Now, it was the DeAndre Swift trade a good thing? I don't know, but I got it. But I 100% get why they traded him. DeAndre Swift, the whole time that he was in Detroit, he maybe only stayed healthy a season or 2 out of his whole 5 seasons that he's been there or whatever. He's only been healthy a season or 2. So I 100% get it. You got your man out of the draft, Jahmyr Gibbs. Will it pay off? Only time will tell. Number 14, I got the New England Patriots. I know a lot of people is going to have a problem with this. Yes, we did not look good at all last season. We did have a top 5, top 10 defense like we always do every single year. But the offense was a problem all season long. I put us up at 14 because that problem got fixed to me. The problem was you hired 2 defensive coordinators to play offensive coordinators. Now you went out, got us another actual offensive coordinator, and Bill O'Brien. Is he going to help revive Matt Jones? I think so. At number 15, we got the Los Angeles Chargers. Again, shouldn't be a surprise. Justin Herbert and them every single year are staying right in there. They're right in the midst. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. A lot of people want to put the Chargers higher than this. I don't have them higher than 15, but I do think that they will be right in the midst of the playoffs like they are every year. And then Justin Herbert at the end of it to get him in will choke it away like he does every single season. All right, Dad, go ahead. Review the
go ahead and do your 16. 16's fine. We'll do 16 and then.
All right, 16. I got the New Orleans Saints. Again, this is a team that many people would maybe think that they should be down in the 20s. But the one hole that I thought New Orleans had last season was the quarterback position, and they took care of that by going out and trading for Derek Carr. They got a proven veteran. He's pretty good. We've seen what he can do with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now he takes his talent over to New Orleans, and I think it's only going to make Chris Olave a bit better. I mean, could you argue to put him up a little higher, like maybe in the 20s? Sure, but I think the one and only hole that I've seen of the New Orleans Saints last season was quarterback, and they took care of that. So that's why I got him at 16.
Okay, cool. All right, so 11 through 16. I do have a couple questions here. I go pretty big on who made the playoffs last year, and then what did they do in the offseason? Like, for instance, if Baltimore would have, if Lamar Jackson would have signed somewhere else and they were coming in with a different quarterback, well, guess what? They're not the same quarterback that almost beat the Cincinnati Bengals in the playoffs last year with a backup quarterback because Lamar Jackson was hurt. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so we got to remember that Baltimore almost beat Cincinnati in the playoffs with a backup quarterback. The Miami Dolphins almost beat the Bills with a third string quarterback in the playoffs last year. So, and that's why these teams are ranked so high. Baltimore being outside of the top 10, the only team, possibly the Jets. I might swap those two. Or Jacksonville, I might be okay swapping those two also. Seattle needs to be right there in the mix too. They won a playoff game last year. And Seattle, I totally agree with you. So Seattle and Baltimore could easily maybe be moved up a little bit with maybe the Jets or the Jags dropping a little bit, but that's probably about it. Detroit Lions, I understand where you're coming from. They have a good chance to win that division this year. They're an up and coming team. They knocked Green Bay out of the playoffs at the end of last year. They ended strong. So I see what you're saying there. I think they need to be in the mix. I think only 14 teams went to the playoffs last year, and you got to have good reasons why you're not ranking them. And none of these teams lost their quarterback. They're all coming back. They're pretty much the same team or better because they only gained people. They didn't take big hits. So having Detroit like above the Chargers, I wouldn't agree with. The New England Patriots, I see where you're coming from. They always have that top tier defense. And now they actually have a legit offensive coordinator instead of a defensive guy trying to call plays. So I could see them being right up there at 15, 16. You know what I'm saying? But I think you might have them just a spot too high. Same with Detroit. I would probably knock them down just a couple of notches and put the Chargers up ahead of them, only because the Chargers are pretty much the exact same team as they were last year. They haven't taken a lot of hits. They still got the wide receivers. They still got the quarterback. They still got as of right now, they got the running game. Their running back wants a new contract, but it doesn't look like he's going to get it. Hopefully, the only thing they did was maybe get better because they have new defensive scheme coming in, and that defense was terrible last year. The defense was not good last year. So hopefully, maybe the Chargers are a little better. So I think you might have them a little bit low. And I'm with you with the Saints, man. The Saints need to be right around in that 15 to 20 mark because they have a great chance, just like Detroit, to win their division. New Orleans Saints, that's the South. The NFC South is not a tough division. And New Orleans Saints, like you said, they stuck with the veteran. They got a veteran quarterback in there. They got a veteran team. People got to remember they got Alvin Kamara. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Alvin Kamara and Derek Carr. I mean, it's going to be, and they always have a good defense. So I think the Saints are going to hover right around there and possibly move up the power rankings as we go on, month to month as the season starts. So, I like it. I think you got a couple teams too high, but I'm big on playoff teams. Why are these playoff teams not in the top 14 when only 14 teams last year went to the playoffs? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the Chargers, and then of course this next up when we get to the Vikings. Those are kind of my only two other questions. But all right, go ahead. 17.
All right, so number 17 is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I like what the Pittsburgh Steelers did this offseason. They already had a really, really good defense. They always do. They're kind of like New England. and Mike Tomlin always likes to rebuild his defense, and he makes it great every year. And that Pittsburgh is going to have a great defense every year. Kenny Pickett really, towards the end of the year, I felt like started proving himself. I felt like all the way mid through the season, Dad, it was like, who is this kid? Is he really good? Who is he? What is Pittsburgh getting out of him? And then I feel like at the back half of the year, we really started to figure out Kenny Pickett's identity. And it was like, holy shit, he really can be a good quarterback. And so, and then they of course got the elite wide receivers and George Pickens and Deontay Johnson and stuff like that. And then you got Najee Harris and shit like that. And don't forget that one of the big reasons why I put him at 17 is because I also like what they did in the draft. Not only in the first round by going out and getting Bronston or Brederick Jones or whatever the hell his name was, but I also like their second round pick too in Joey Porter Jr. And so I feel like Pittsburgh only improved in the draft as well. One of the biggest needs that you needed was offensive line help. And you went and got that in the first round. So I feel like that, 17 was a great place to put them at there. 18, I got the Cleveland Browns. And I may got them a bit too high, but this is hopes that Deshaun Watson cannot. That's not the same Deshaun Watson that we've seen, right? Please, for the love of God, tell me that is not going to be the Lamar. I mean, that is not going to be the Deshaun Watson that Cleveland just paid $232 million fully guaranteed dollars to. Like that was
that'll be hilarious. That'll be a very Browns thing if that's as good as he ever plays.
Well, what I'm saying is though, Dad, when he came back, was it just me or was it not? I feel like I know what Cleveland was doing. You have to roll with him. You gave him $232 million.
He ain't played in 2 years, right? He needs to get
back. But when he came back and got into the role, I thought Jacoby Brissett was better than his ass the entire season. Jacoby Brissett was
But over the last 2 years, Jacoby Brissett has played. He played a lot year before last in Miami when he was backing up Tua, and Tua's always hurt. So Jacoby has been playing. You got to remember, Deshaun Watson hasn't played in 2 years by this time. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I'm banking on at putting him at 18 here is that
you're banking because that's kind of high.
That cannot be the Lamar. I mean, that cannot be the Deshaun Watson that they're gonna get. If so, I can tell you right now, come this second power ranking, they're gonna be falling down into the 20s because that was a terrible Deshaun Watson that we seen last season.
Right.
All right, number 19 is the Washington Commanders. Again, you could possibly say that I got them a bit too high, which I possibly do because right there's Minnesota still setting at 21.
Too high.
But I mean, too high. I mean, you could argue that they're supposed to be in the 20s. So,
Sam Howell, come on.
I mean, the thing is, okay, they got a great defense. You already know what their defense is about, but they didn't place the 5th-year tag on Chase Young. So after this season, he's a bye-bye, which is probably going to knock their defense down an inch or two.
Yeah, he's going to get paid after this year.
Tyler Heineke, who you thought they may pay to be their starting quarterback, they let go. They let walk in the offseason. He's now with Atlanta. So I mean, I don't know. It's just going to be a weird tandem. How good is Sam Howell? And how is that defense going to look? Can Chase Young stay healthy? Can, Sweat stay healthy? Can all of them stay healthy? And please, for the love of God, let Sam Howell be good because when that quarterback room is good, my, oh my, is Scary Terry something to watch out for. So, and I don't know about you, Dad, but I love Scary Terry, man. And it's so shitty that he has been on a team that has shit quarterbacks. So please let Sam Howell be the answer here. All right, so number 20, I got the Las Vegas Raiders. Again, this is another team that I like what they did here. They didn't lose too many people in the offseason. They went out and just like the New Orleans Saints, they went out and signed themselves a veteran quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo. And Garoppolo has proven that he can bring you to the Super Bowl. He did it with San Francisco. Now, given Las Vegas's defense isn't San Francisco's defense, but I mean, can he do it with the Las Vegas Raiders? Yeah, I think so. And then we already know they got the leading rusher from last year in Josh Jacobs. They went out and added Jacoby Myers from New England. Again, people's questioning, was that throw backwards to Chandler Jones on purpose? Only y'all's decision to make. But yeah, anyway, so they went out and signed Jacoby Myers. So ultimately, I like what Las Vegas did here. I mean, are they going to move up the power rankings? There's either two options. I could see them moving up or moving down, depending on how Jimmy Garoppolo plays here. And can Jimmy Garoppolo stay healthy is the bigger question to me. So, yeah, I got Las Vegas here at 20. At 21, I got Minnesota. I got the Minnesota Vikings at 21. I got them here because, yes, they won like 14, 15 games, but only by a single point or less. And they were one of the biggest, phoniest teams to me last season. I get that they won so many games, but I told Dad and Rich both that when they made the playoffs, they were going to get knocked out in the first round. What happened? They got absolutely smacked.
They played my G-Man.
They absolutely got smacked by the Giants, bro. So I mean, the point is, I don't know. I'm not high on Minnesota. Do I see them doing that again? Possibly, because like Dad said, that is a Kirk Cousins thing. He seems to win games by a point or less. But you can't do that in the freaking playoffs. Otherwise, you're going to get
unless he's in prime time.
He
can't win in the big game. But
yeah. So yes, two options. All right, Uncle Gus, move up or move down, baby. That's how the power rankings work here. All right, they're either gonna be moving up or moving on down. But yeah, anyways, that's why I got Minnesota here, Dad. I already know that you want to ask me some questions about this. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you ask away.
All right. 17 through 21. I'm actually okay with. The problem that I have is I think Cleveland is way too high because they didn't have good quarterback play. It was inconsistent quarterback play. I like how you have Pittsburgh above them because Pickett is younger than Deshaun Watson, only been in the league a couple of years, but he had more consistent play last year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't mind Pittsburgh being up at 17, especially with that defense. Washington Commanders, there's teams, I mean, like Uncle Gus's Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
They got a quarterback. We haven't got there yet, but they have a quarterback that we don't know what he's going to do, right?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Washington Commanders are in the same boat. We don't know what the quarterback. Now, we do know that they got a really good offense if they can get some good quarterback play. We know their defense, especially that front seven, is really good. So I like them being within the top 20. I don't see why the Raiders are in the top 20. They would just be pushed out because Minnesota on here needs to be a lot higher. Yeah. I understand what you're saying, but there's no reason why teams we don't know anything about, like Washington or Jimmy Garoppolo's Raiders or Cleveland Browns, need to be above Minnesota. There's no reason at all. You might be able to.
Well, Jimmy Garoppolo, you could argue that with because he's proven that he can take a team to the Super Bowl.
I understand that, but did you know how Minnesota won in very tight games all year last year?
Yeah,
the Raiders lost in very tight games all year last year. That's what they did. They took everything right down to the wire, but lost every game. Is that because of coaching? Is that because of quarterback play? I don't know why that was. All I know is that's what I seen from them last year. And the only thing that they changed is they went from Derek Carr to Jimmy Garoppolo, which is a move sideways. That ain't up. They didn't get better. Jimmy Garoppolo is no better than Derek Carr. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like a sideways move. So why do I think the coaching is automatically going to be better? Why do I think, why do I think they're going to win those games? At least Minnesota won those tight games where the Raiders lost all those tight games. Outside of the Patriots, They didn't win any tight games. They beat the Patriots. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, that was it. They lost.
Well, and they only beat us because Jacoby Myers made that stupid ass throw. Otherwise,
right, exactly.
It would have went into overtime.
Right, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. But that's what it was for the Raiders.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, to answer your question, Bills Mafia, why I got the Cowgirls over the Bills would be for one simple thing. If you would have been in here earlier, you would have heard me talk about it. Josh Allen, ever since Brian Daboll has left you guys, has been declining. He was one of the worst quarterbacks in the red zone last season. He had multiple interceptions up there. I think he was one of the highest QBs with interceptions. He
had more interceptions in the red zone than any other quarterback.
Yeah, than any other quarterback. So he led that
only in the red zone. Only in the red zone.
Yeah, only in the red zone though. So I don't know, man. Josh Allen is gonna have to prove something to me this year for me to move you guys above the Dallas Cowboys. Right. But anyways, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Outside of Minnesota, Minnesota is a playoff team that is coming back with the same quarterback, coming back with the same crappy defense, but the same really good offense with mediocre quarterback play. They've proven they can win in tight games. There's no reason for them to drop out of the top 20 of anybody's power ranking. You got them right outside of the top 20. That's my only argument there. Everything else I really like the 17 through 21. So you can keep going with the Bears.
Bears. So at 22, I got the Chicago Bears. Again, this is an upgrade from where they would have been last season. I've seen a little bit of videos about what Justin Fields have been doing the offseason. I like how he's putting in the work. And I really, really, really like what they did in the offseason. They went out, they got DJ Moore to help out. They already, got a stacked wide receiver room. And then they got, I'm pretty sure they got a new running back as well. Yeah. And I can't even remember who the hell their new running back is.
No, not Montgomery.
No, not
they
David
lost Montgomery. Montgomery went to Detroit.
Hang on, let me take a look at their roster. Because
I can't remember. They've also beefed up that offensive line, which they really needed. That's going to help the running game. Justin Fields, I was talking to you earlier. I think Chicago Bears have a chance to win this division. Since this division is A-Rodless, it's kind of a wide open division. And Justin Fields ran like a beast last year. You know what I'm saying? So if he gets a little bit of throwing game going, and he's got a true number one now and DJ Moore, and that offensive line is going to give him a little bit of more protection, we hope. They put some good pillars on that defense to start rebuilding that defense. Chicago Bears can win that division, man. That division is wide open. And if it's based on quarterback play, Justin Fields has the ability of being the best quarterback in that division. So.
Yeah, and I just checked their roster. They apparently did not sign a running back. They're going Khalil Herbert, and they did, but it's not a big time name.
Right, they lost Montgomery. Right.
Yeah, they lost Montgomery. They're going Khalil Herbert here, and
which had a good year last year.
They also got Deontay Foreman to go along with Khalil Herbert, and I like what Deontay Foreman did.
I mean, Herbert and Justin Fields is a good threat. You have to put 8 people in the box when you play the Bears. You're going to have to because and so they're going to attempt to stop the run. That's why DJ Moore and those other guys that they got as wide receivers, there's going to be a lot of one-on-ones, and if Justin Fields can find them open, they could be flying up this power rankings.
Yeah, and I definitely agree with that, Dad. I really like what Chicago did this entire offseason. They, like Dad said, they got offensive help to beef that up, and they really, really, really badly needed that because we've seen at the back half of the year how Justin Fields was having to run around for his life back there. So now that should help them out a little bit. And then I also liked how they, got DJ Moore, like I was talking about, and all that shit. So I like all the offseason moves the Chicago Bears did, and that was a big win for their GM. And moving into 23 here, this is a team that I'm kind of composed here, Dad, about they have to be at 23 but could they have fallen down the rankings a little more? I think so. And that's the Indianapolis Colts. And I say that because not only did they get a quarterback that we don't have any idea whether he's good or not, we've seen him on tape. Does he look good from all the tape we've seen? Hell yeah, the fuck he does. And if he plays the way that he did at Florida and shit, they're going to be flying up these power rankings. But the reason why I'd move them down is because they didn't do anything in the offseason to surprise me. The one thing I was thinking that they needed more than anything was a wide receiver, because you only have what's his fucking face? The fucking dude that's their true number one wide receiver. I forget his fucking name now. But yeah, outside of him, you don't have any other wide receivers. Yeah, you went and got Josh Dobbs, or Josh Downs, or whatever the hell his name was, from North Carolina, which is good. But it was like I was kind of telling Dad when I watched tape on him, when he fell down, when he's like a physical catcher, and when he goes up and grabs the ball and falls down on his knees and shit, he gets up and starts limping it weirdly and shit. And he's only 23, 24 years old. If he's already doing that now, he's only going to play for about 5 to 10 years in the league, because we seen the same shit that I was seeing on tape was shit that Julius Edelman was doing with New England, and he had to eventually retire because there was no more cartilage around his knee. It was just like a blaring, straight, normal knee, just bone. And that's eventually what Josh Downs is gonna become. So,
right, it's Michael Pittman and Paris Campbell are the
Michael Pittman. Yeah, Michael Pittman. Do they even have Paris Campbell anymore? I think they lost him in the offseason.
Did they? But I don't think that's the reason. You know the reason why you are so hesitant and not remembering how dominant the Indianapolis Colts are? Do you remember who the Indianapolis Colts running back is? I'll give you a hint. 2 years ago, he led the league in yardage. 2 years ago.
I understand that.
Last year he got hurt.
Yeah.
They have possibly the best running back in the league. He just happened to get hurt last year.
Yeah, and I agree with that, Dad. But don't forget that JT got hurt, missed like 5 to 6 games, and then when he came back, he didn't look like the same JT
because he was still hurt. He came back. He played hurt the whole second half. But my whole point is they have a great offensive line that did not produce, that played like shit last year. They have to get that figured out. They have way too much money invested in their offensive line for them to play as shitty as they did last year. So they need to figure out the offensive line. JT needs to stay healthy, and they need to do a 1-2 punch. I seriously believe that offense is going to look like Chicago's offense last year with a better offensive line. You know what I'm saying? They got a couple quarterbacks. Can that offensive line buy them enough time to get that ball out to Pittman? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What I would Indy, the reason why Indy might be a little better than Chicago last year, that they're going to have a running quarterback. They're going to have a good running back. That's the reason why I'm comparing them to them. They have a similar quarterbacks, and Indianapolis defense is better than Chicago's was last year. So, Indianapolis defense is a lot better than Chicago's defense. So Indianapolis has a chance, man. They could get in the mix with some good dual threat quarterback play, but JT has to stay healthy, and that offensive line needs to step it up. That's the highest paid offensive line in the fucking league. And on paper, they're the best offensive line in the league. But last year they played like fucking shit.
Yeah. And I definitely agree with you there, Dad. All right. So at 24, I got love the show. You guys are out. Thanks, Uncle Gus. Love you too. All right. So at 24, we got the Tennessee Titans, which again, I feel like is a good spot here. Ryan Tannehill, Dad, I don't know if it's just me or not, but has proven one thing to me, man. He needs Derek.
He's mediocre as fuck.
He needs Derek fucking Henry at running back. Otherwise, he turns to complete dog shit, bro. Yeah. Like when he's by himself, he cannot produce at all. So, you know,
we found that out in Miami, though. I mean,
yeah.
to be completely honest, we hung in there with Ryan Tannehill, hung in there, and I really wanted him to blow up and be a franchise quarterback in Miami. Now, Miami never has had a quarterback as good as King Henry, so of course he didn't produce that way. He's just Ryan Tannehill is going to be a great backup for many years to come. He's a good quarterback. Or for right now, he'll be a good bridge quarterback. He'll be like a Jimmy Garoppolo or somebody like that. And then he'll go down as a backup quarterback, and he'll be one of the better backup quarterbacks. If you give him a strong running game and don't rely on him to win you games, he can carry a game. He can get you. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot. You know what I'm saying? And he does pretty good. He tries to protect the ball, and if he has a good running game, he does okay. But he's not going to carry anybody to a championship.
Yeah. Yeah, and I 100% agree with you, and I think that's why I got him at 24. Now, could you say that I got Tennessee a little bit too high? Yeah, some people could argue that, but the point is, the reason why I got them at 24 right here is because of what Dad was just saying. Tannehill this season is going to be a bridge quarterback. Come next season, oh man, is that going to be a fun offense to watch in Tennessee? I could see them moving up the power rankings here. They got a man.
I totally agree, and as long as they got a man named Derrick Henry on that team, and a coach and Brian what's his name?
Mike Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel. With him, Vrabel leading that defense and King Henry leading that backfield, they're going to stay in the top 25. I'm telling you, unless Derrick Henry gets hurt, they're going to stay in the top 25. So because Derrick Henry's going to run the fuck over.
Well, this year, I will agree with you with that. But next season, I could see them moving up the power rankings, and that's because Will Levis is the opposite of Ryan Tannehill. He doesn't need a running game. He doesn't need a running game. Well, at least in Kentucky, he proved that he doesn't need a running game. We hope
his game transitions into the next league. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he proved in Kentucky that he doesn't need a running game to make him better. He's good at throwing the ball already by himself. And if that translates to the National Football League with Tennessee, that's going to be great because then Derrick Henry won't have to run the ball constantly over and over and over and over again. King Henry oh my God, bro, I swear to God, King Henry with JT, that would be a dangerous combination. I'm telling you right now, that would be
you could actually move JT and put him in the slot. He could become a wide receiver.
Yeah, honestly. But yeah, I think come next year, Dad, because right now, King Henry is kind of like the front blow of that team. He has to run the ball, to make that team win because Ryan Tannehill can't do it by himself. But I feel like if Will Levis's game translates to the National Football League like we think it will, like he proved in Kentucky, that doesn't have to be the case. They can then go half run, half throw, and I think Tennessee wins a lot more games than they do this season with Ryan Tannehill in there at quarterback. So I got them at 24 right now. Could I see them moving up next year when Will Levis takes over? Yes, I could. All right, at number 25, a lot of people could argue, why the fuck do I have this team at 25? Well, let me tell you something. They got a man in the first round, number 8 overall, by the name of hang on. Don't let me get this wrong. Bijan Robertson. There we go. I nailed it.
Robinson.
Robinson. Yes, there we go. Okay. Anyways, so oh my God. Will panicked under pressure. Yeah, that's true. He did panic under pressure, but I feel like Tennessee has a pretty good offensive line. So there really shouldn't be that much pressure on him. But anyway, so the Atlanta Falcons got Bijan Robinson, and I feel like he's gonna be great for the Atlanta Falcons. I also am high on Desmond Reader. I have been since he came out of the draft from Cincinnati.
This will tell you.
Yeah, so So I've been really high on Desmond Reader, and I really think he has potential to be a really, really good quarterback. I'll go ahead and say it. I even think he has potential of being the best quarterback in the Atlanta Falcons franchise history, because outside of him, that's owned by Matt Ryan. So
Matt Ryan and Michael fucking Vick, baby.
Oh
Let's
yeah,
go.
I forgot that Vic played with the Falcons. Okay, I take that back. He has potential of being the second best. Okay, Michael Vick's always going to be the best. Okay, but Desmond Reader has potential of being the second best quarterback to ever play in that franchise. I really do, man. If you guys want to see what I'm talking about, go watch some tape on Desmond Reader when he was playing with the Cincinnati Bearcats. He was really, really good. And now you got a man by the name of Bijan Robertson, who's going to be even more great. He's only going to complement Desmond Reader there as well, Dad. Yeah, I mean, you've seen tape on Bijan Robertson.
Robinson. Bijan is one of those guys that you can line him up anywhere. He can come out of the backfield. He's going to come out of the backfield as a beast, but he's also a slot receiver. He's very Alvin Kamara-ish. And for a team that already had a good running game like the Atlanta Falcons, this ain't nothing but, I mean, they could keep the running game they got and put Bijan in the slot. They just gained one of the best slot receivers in this draft.
Well, I was trying to tell you during the draft as well. They could also do that with the other man that was so great from them last season, which was Cordell Patterson. Cordell Patterson, before transferring to a running back, he was a wide receiver. So
and they got Algier also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm really interested in knowing what the hell they're going to do with Cordell Patterson. Are they actually going to move him back to wide receiver?
Well, they got a good running back in Algier and two really good running backs that could also line up as receivers. Yeah. So that run really good route trees coming out of the back. And so it's going to be a very exciting it's going to be a very exciting offense. And like the Washington Commanders, the Atlanta Falcons chose to go with the guy that they drafted last year instead of trying to get new quarterbacks. So let's see how Desmond Ridder and how Sam Howell do it. Let's see how they go. Yeah. I kind of like what they're doing. They're gambling, and worst comes to worst, they're going to be a shitty ass team, only have a couple wins, and pick a quarterback really high in this draft coming up. So I mean, it's worth given a year and seeing, and both have pretty good offenses built around these young quarterbacks. So let's see what happens. I mean, Washington's got Scary Terry, and Los Angeles has the Atlanta Falcons have a really good running game. So so there you go.
And at 26, I got the Los Angeles Rams. And Dad, I got to be honest with you, this was kind of the team that I was up and down on all season long, or while I was making these power rankings here, because could they be higher? Yes. Could they be right at 26 or lower? Yes, because it all depends. Can Matthew Stafford stay healthy? If Matthew Stafford is healthy all season long, we already know that the Los Angeles Rams are going to be higher than 26. They're probably going to be somewhere.
They also have a wide receiver that needs to stay healthy.
Oh, yeah, and Cooper Kupp, and I definitely agree with that. But if Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford both stay healthy, we already know that they're going to be floating around. They're going to be floating somewhere around the 15 to 10 mark all season long, possibly even higher. But right now I got them at 26 because did you see what happened after those two guys went down, Dad, that we were just talking about? After Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford went out, they were so bad. So at 26 right now for me, I mean, dude, there's a reason. There's a reason I have Tampa at 29, and I'll get to that in a minute. And it's a lot to do with why Los Angeles moved up, because they got rid of a man named Baker Mayfield. Because Mayfield is absolutely terrible.
Hey man, you're skipping the rookie quarterbacks, man.
I mean, I'm just stating facts here. All right. So we'll get into the rookie quarterbacks here. At 27, we got the Carolina Panthers. They took Bryce Young at the top of this first round in this year's draft. Now, interesting fact, Dad, and I completely forgot about this while I was making the power rankings, but the GM for the Carolina Panthers have already come out and said that this is not Bryce Young's job. This is Andy Dalton's job, and there's no timetable set for when Bryce Young is supposed to be starting.
They're doing a full-blown competition.
So will Andy Dalton really be the starter? Because if so, I think they might be lower than Houston. But anyways, so at 28, we got Houston Texans here. They took CJ Stroud. Oh my God, Dad, I got to tell you, man, I really like what Houston did this offseason. They went out. They got their they got their head coach. They got D'Amico Ryans from the defensive coordinator from the 49ers. I don't know about you, Dad, but I love that signing. I love that signing. D'Amico Ryans used to play for the Houston Texans. I don't know if you knew that or not. But yeah, he used to play for the Houston Texans. I love that signing. And then they went out and they got people like Jimmy Ward. You already knew 49er players was going to start coming over with D'Amico Ryans. Here comes Jimmy Ward. And I'm like, oh my God, wow, Jimmy Ward left the 49ers. I don't know about you, Dad, but Jimmy Ward was a pretty big piece of that San Francisco defense. He was one of their best cornerbacks that they had on that team. And now he's gone into Houston, and that's a massive signing for Houston. And then they got more defensive pieces. And then they go out and get a man that actually balled the fuck out in the playoffs by the name of Dalton Schultz. And I'm like, wow, they got Dalton Schultz, the man that balled out in the playoffs, and now a complimentary piece to CJ Stroud. And not to mention, they got some pretty decent wide receivers. I feel like their best one was Brandon Cooks, and for whatever dumbass reason, they traded him away. But yeah, outside of that, they got pretty good wide receivers. I feel like Dalton Schultz is going to be getting over half these fucking catches though, because they don't got very many wide receiver pieces there.
Dalton Schultz is definitely going to be the best pass catcher there. Coming out of the tight end, which is great because your tight end is normally your safety net for your young rookie quarterback. So Dalton Schultz can definitely get open and can definitely fight for those contested catches. So
and I don't know about you, Dad, but at the back half of the season, I really thought Dalton Schultz had a shot at getting re-signed by the Dallas Cowboys. I mentioned it like 2 or 3 times to Rich, and I guess Rich was right. There wasn't re-signing him. But, man, what a steal did Houston get out of Dalton Schultz. He really showed up in the playoffs, and he was pretty decent all year long, but he really showed up in the playoffs. Now, will Houston be in the playoffs? I don't fucking know. I'm going to say no. I mean, I could see them competing in this division with Indianapolis, but I think Indianapolis is going to win the division.
Yeah, so. I mean, I kind of like how you have Indianapolis 3 spots above the other 2 rookie quarterbacks. And the reason why you have to do that is because they have Jonathan Taylor. It's because they have a really good offensive line. It's because they have Pittman. It's because they have, which is a true number 1. Well, that's what Carolina gave away their true number 1 to move up to draft number 1. Houston Texans don't have a true number 1 yet. They have they signed a really good tight end like we've been talking about, but they still are in need of that.
Well, one thing we did forget about, and I completely forgot about it until you just mentioned that, but Houston did a year or 2 ago got a man that I was hoping New England would get by the name of John Mechie. Could he become a true number 1? Who knows? We haven't seen him play yet because he got diagnosed with leukemia cancer. But now he beat it, and now he's back to playing football. So we'll really get to see how good John Mechie is this season.
My whole point was though that Houston traded off their number 1. He went to Dallas. And then Carolina traded off their true number 1 to get up to number 1 to be able to draft Young. Well, Indianapolis was the other top 3. One of the first 3 quarterbacks to go in this year's draft, of course. But Indianapolis got to keep their true number 1. They have JT, who's probably the best or in the top 3 best running backs in the league. Really good offensive line, a decent stout defense. He's going to the best team in Indy. So I like how you have Indy above Carolina and Houston.
Yeah, and Uncle Gus said, and coaching. So
that's
I would definitely agree with that too.
Yeah, that is true. D'Amico, I believe is going to be a great coach, but we don't know that yet. So that is true. And Steichen, Steichen's the same way. We don't know that yet. We do know that they were both really good coordinators.
Yeah.
We do know that.
Yeah.
So.
All right, and at 29, I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I understand that Tampa Bay didn't lose very much, but they lost the GOAT. They lost the GOAT, the greatest quarterback of all time, and Tom Brady. He retires.
And they're an aging team with a terrible coach.
Yeah, aging team with a terrible coach. And to go on top of all that, what did they do? They bring in a man by the name of Baker Mayfield, who hasn't proven shit in this league. He was shit for Cleveland. He goes to the Rams.
Except 1 year.
Well, yeah, outside of his rookie year, I believe it was, wasn't it?
No, I think it was his second year. Wasn't it? Something
like that. Yeah,
he led him to the playoffs 1 year.
So,
1 year.
Yeah. And then he goes to the Rams and he brings them back that night that me and you absolutely lost our fucking minds, Dad. And we were like, holy shit. Has Baker Mayfield been revived?
Wasn't that like Thursday Night Football or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. And then the next week, what does he do, Dad? He goes back to being shit again. And we're like, yeah, he hasn't been revived. So
Baker.
That's why I got him at 29 here, Dad, is because they lost the greatest quarterback of all time in Tom Brady. You do nothing to replace him. Instead, you have your front office manager by the name of Bruce Arians coming out and saying, oh, Baker Mayfield was better than any of these quarterback options coming out of the draft. They better hope that pans out, because I can tell you right now, I can already name two people off to you right now that I think is going to be better than Baker, and that's Anthony Richardson, and that's C.J. Stroud. And Bryce Young is right up there as well at being better than Baker Mayfield. So I don't know how that's going to pan out for Tampa Bay, but that's why I got them at 29. 30 is Denver. Listen, okay? I understand that some people's going to have a problem with this. I'm actually really surprised that Dad didn't have a problem with it. Listen, okay, guys, I understand you all. I understand you, Dad. I understand everyone. I love Sean Payton myself, but Russell Wilson was fucking ass all season last season. Let Russ cook. Went where? He was burning shit all season long in the damn kitchen. The man was terrible. So hopefully Sean Payton revives him. But man, I don't know what the hell happened to Russell Wilson, but he was shit his last 2 years in Seattle. And he comes to Denver, and he was shit once again this last season. So
yeah, I don't have a problem with you having Denver this low. I do like Sean Payton, but I really like Russell Wilson. I feel bad. I mean, Russell Wilson had a bad year. That is very true. I like him, though. He's a Super Bowl winning quarterback. He's a multiple Pro Bowler, multiple-time Pro Bowler. He's got the talent. He just needs to get back on track. And if anybody can help him get his career back on track, it would be Sean Payton. So I'm kind of scared. This is a team right here in the Denver Broncos, and you have them all the way down at 30. This is a team that could easily be shooting up these power rankings.
Yeah.
Once we see if Russell Wilson starts playing like the old Russell Wilson, and Sean Payton starts scheming up some offense like some old Saints offenses, they're going to be shooting up. They're going to be shooting up the damn up this power ranking as the season goes on. So I'm not worried about Denver. Let them start at the bottom and let them prove themselves. They had such a shitty year last year, so they might as well.
Yeah. And then at 31, I got the Green Bay Packers. Again, Dad, I got Green Bay here for the same reason of why I got Tampa. They lost a great quarterback, a first ballot Hall of Famer quarterback by the name of Aaron Rodgers. And what do you do to replace that? You just say, let our scheme continue working. We had a man by the name of Brett Favre. He goes, we got Aaron Rodgers. He goes, now we're going to try it with Jordan Love. Does it pan out? I don't know. All I do know, Dad, is Jordan Love has been in the league for 2 to 3 years now. He's played in a handful of the preseason games. He did not look good to me in those preseason games. He didn't, and that's preseason. if he did not look good in preseason, just imagine how bad it's going to look in regular season when he gets to playing these full-time defenses and shit like that. The Green Bay better hope something works here. So,
yeah, I mean, they're in the same boat. Basically, they've put themselves in the same boat as the Washington Commanders, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Green Bay Packers. They're all in the same boat. We don't know what their quarterback can do. We don't know. We don't know what Love. Love has been in the league a couple years longer than those other two quarterbacks, but he has not played. We don't. He might be back.
Well, he has in the preseason.
Yeah, yeah, we've seen him a little bit in the preseason. We've seen him in one game last season. I mean, we haven't seen him play. We haven't seen him take a team, say, okay, it's your team, go for it. Like we're going to see Howe, like we're going to see Ritter, like we're going to see Love do this year. They're going to have to do it. And who knows? He could be badass, dude. He could be badass. And we already know that they have two good up and coming wide receivers, two rookies they got last year. We already know that on paper that defense is badass, but they played like shit last year. The Green Bay defense on paper, Green Bay defense looks good, dude.
Yeah.
But they played like shit, so maybe they bounce back. We already know they got a good offensive line. We already know they got a really good running game. So I mean, Green Bay, we don't know. We don't know. Just like you don't know about Atlanta, and you don't know about Washington. You don't know because we haven't seen these quarterbacks play enough.
Yeah. And then at number 32, no surprise here, we got the Arizona Cardinals. Dad, I feel like this team needs to shut their whole organization. They need to just shut their whole organization down and just restart over again. Kyler Murray is gone, and who knows how long he's going to be gone. I'm hearing reports, Dad, that he could be out even until middle of the season with that leg injury that he suffered against us in that Monday night game.
I don't think he's going to play at all this year. It doesn't make sense for him to play. They're already going to be have so many losses by the time he's able to come back. They might as well just keep him. Just let him total rehab all year. Give him a whole fresh year. And maybe he gets his head on straight, dude. I feel really bad for people on this team, like especially good superstars, that are on this team. I mean, they have a really good wide receiver, at least one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But who is their backup? Does anybody know who's their backup?
Hang on, let me go look.
It seems like they would have been a team to try to get one of these really good backup quarterbacks this year, but they didn't. So. That I know of. I don't even know who's playing. I don't even know who their quarterback's going to be.
Kyler Murray is their starting quarterback. Outside of that, they got David Balago or whatever the hell he was, the dude that used to play for Detroit for a little bit. They got Jeff Driscoll, and then the only other one is Colt McCoy. So they're probably going to rock the season with Colt McCoy like they did last season.
Right. They don't have anybody. That's my whole point.
Yeah,
they don't have anybody, and I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's crazy. I think they're possibly going to be picking one overall next year in next year's draft, and I don't know.
I could actually see that Jacksonville and Arizona move to UK. I could see that. Is it just me, or does Jacksonville like when and
their owner owns teams and stuff over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, see. This was my thing. Okay, Dad, we're kind of hopped off that train because now Trevor Lawrence has proven to us that he can be good here.
Hey, I'm a Jacksonville fan.
Here and the UK. Listen. I'm a Jacksonville fan too, but you got to listen to what I'm saying. Okay.
Okay.
I've kind of hopped off that train a little bit because Blake. I mean, not Blake. What the hell? Fucking Trevor
Did you almost
Lawrence,
say Blake Bortles?
Yes. Trevor Lawrence has proven to us that he can play good here in the United States and UK. Blake Bortles, it was like trash. Oh, we're going to UK. Let me inject some cocaine in my system and let me just go all out. He played like a franchise quarterback every time they went to UK.
Sure.
Like every time they went to the United Kingdom, he was like
Miami
so
there.
good at quarterback.
A couple times.
It was ridiculous.
But all in all, let's go ahead and wrap up your power rankings. I really like your power rankings, dude.
Yeah.
All in all, I like it. Like I said,
I honestly, the one last thing I wanted to say, honestly, I think Arizona is going to be hovering around 32 all season long. I don't think they're going to move up any at all, if any at all. And I would agree with you on what you were saying earlier, Dad, about just letting Kyler Murray rehab and shit. But I feel like this is a make it or break it year for Kyler Murray. I feel like he needs to prove that he can be their franchise quarterback, or you have two great fucking already almost prove it franchise quarterbacks coming out of the draft this year coming up. You got Caleb Williams coming out of USC, and you got David Mayo or whatever the hell his name is. Yeah, David May coming out of North Carolina. They're almost already proven franchise quarterbacks. I feel like it's either Kyler Murray. If you choose to let Kyler Murray rehab and then decide, oh yeah, he's going to be our franchise quarterback next year, and you don't draft May or a Williams or whatever the hell his name is, you're really going to fucking regret that, because I feel like both of those quarterbacks have potential of being better than Kyler Murray. They probably already are.
Yeah, I don't know. Kyler Murray is definitely. I think Kyler Murray hovers right there in mediocrity. He's top 12 quarterback, but he's too immature to be your franchise quarterback. That's the problem. He's very Baker Mayfieldish. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, he's very immature. He's and that's, I know a lot of that.
He throws a lot of picks too.
Right, a lot of that, yeah, but he's also an elite runner. So, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, throw a little less picks, but he's also smaller and he can get beat up. So, I was going to ask Gus while you're in here. Gus, were you in here? Did you see the birthday present that NFL East podcast got for Brandon? Were you in here to catch that at the beginning of the show or not? If not, I was going to show it to you. So, but that was cool. That's good. But all in all, dude, I really did like your power rankings. I thought you did a good job. Like I said, I think the Minnesota Vikings do not deserve to drop out of the top 20. I think that's a little bit crazy, and I think you might have your Pats a little bit high, letting them break the top 15. But you're going by the draft and what happened in the offseason. So there you go. We'll see. And one thing I really do like was the point that you made that Minnesota is going to be against. Because they won that division, they're going against the first rank. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he said it was great. Do it again. All right, let's do it again, Dad.
All right, here you go, man.
You know what I like the most about that? Outside of the beat, I like how you played "Let's fucking go" on multiple one of those, because
that's what I said. I gave you your own slogan
right there.
Right, exactly.
That is my slogan. Every time, if you watch my channel, I swear to God, during half the games, I'm saying "Let's fucking go, baby."
Exactly. That's what I did when I was when I was building it. I was like, okay, so I need something other than NFL Boy Brandon. I need some kind of slogan. So I went to your page and started looking at stuff. And you say, let's fucking go like 19 million times. So I was like, okay, that'll work. Let's do it. That's very Tom Brady-ish right there.
Yeah.
So So I thought that was pretty cool. So I threw it in there for you. So
all right. So the one thing I did want to say about the power rankings, and we'll bring it up one last time. I agree with you to a certain extent, Dad, about Minnesota. I think they're going to be moving up the power rankings once the season gets underway, especially if they look like they did last season. They definitely are going to be moving up the power rankings. It's just the reason, the majority reason why I have them at 21, Dad, is because I understand that they won games by one possession or more, or one possession or less. But you can't do that in the playoffs. And that got proven when they got the hell beat out of them by New
Exactly.
York. You can't keep on winning by one possession or less, or else you're going to screw yourself in the playoffs. And that's exactly what happened to them. So, Kirk Cousins, if you're listening to this, and I know you are because you're a true homie, step it up, bro.
Let's fucking go is my favorite drinking game.
Yeah. Is that really a drinking game? I didn't even know that. The fuck?
Yeah, he's gonna have to show us.
All right, anyways, guys, with that being said, thank you, Dad, for joining us on these power rankings. And I hope you guys enjoyed my post-season power rankings, just like we do on the podcast. Every month or so, we're going to be bringing out a new power ranking. I think we do one every month. Right, Dad?
Yeah, we do one every month during preseason. We start one at the very beginning of preseason, and then every month after four games, we do a new power rankings at the top of every month. So.
All right, so every month we do one there. Every month I'm going to be making one myself on all 32 teams. So stay tuned for that because we will be going live right here each month. Dad can join me if he would like. I think it would be really fun. But yeah, guys, let me know down in the comments below. How do you like my post-draft power rankings? I already know I'm going to get a couple of comments like Bills Mafia. Why the hell do you got the Cowgirls over my Bills? Well, wait, I did my best.
I mean, he's got a point because both of those quarterbacks were threw a whole lot of interceptions last season.
Well, I understand that.
Dak Prescott threw just as many or more than Josh Allen.
I understand that, but listen, okay, Josh Allen is the question for me. Okay,
yeah, I agree. And can Von Miller stay healthy? Because that defense obviously falls off.
And another thing. Okay, listen. Okay, the Cowboys do it. The Cowgirl fans do it every year. I'm used to it. But Bills Mafia, knock it the fuck off. I'm sick and tired of always hearing about how it's the Bills season. We're going to the Super Bowl. Well, when the hell is Josh Allen going to step up and take you over that damn hump and get you to the Super Bowl is what I want to know. But, you know, and same goes for the
Richard. I think Richard from NFL East podcast. You all need to go check that out. NFL East at NFL East podcast on YouTube.
Yeah,
we just did our post-draft recap and then our post-draft power rankings as far as the NFL East is concerned. We did that on Saturday as a new one. Go check it out. And Rich brought up then. Well, I can't remember. What were we talking about?
How the Cowboy fans and how the Bills Mafia always.
Oh yeah. I remember when he was talking about the Bills. He said that he felt like last year was kind of that was Bills' year. That was the Bills should have went to the Super Bowl last year, and with them not being able to do it, now everything's just going to be harder. You know what I'm saying? And now that Aaron Rodgers is here, now that Miami's a little bit more better, you know what I'm saying? We close. So that's what I was going to say. Maybe Dallas can beat Green Bay now, right? Exactly.
That's so true.
But they'll lose to the Jets. Believe that.
They just got a new. Listen, Uncle Gus, they're going to be able to beat Green Bay now. It just goes to another team that they have unnecessary luck with because they can never get past Rodgers for whatever damn reason. But yeah, and I totally agree with you, Dad. I feel like that window last season was the window for the Bills. If they were going to do anything, if they were going to make it, that was the year. I don't know. I just had that feeling again. If I had to pick a team from the AFC to represent us in the Super Bowl, I had the feeling again that it's going to be Cincinnati. I feel like Cincinnati is going to come out, be a powerhouse like they are every year, and they're going to be able to beat the Chiefs. You know, every year every year, and I hate to say this, Dad, but it almost feels like to me that Burrow and Mahomes are becoming what we used to love to see in Brady and Peyton Manning. I feel like that Burrow and Mahomes is becoming that. It feels like every single AFC championship, almost every year, it's the Bengals versus the Chiefs, and Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow put on a fucking clinic out there. It makes you almost feel like whichever team wins this is going to win the fucking Super Bowl because, wow, they do such a great job. So, I don't know. I just have that feeling again that it's going to be Cincinnati. So.
Okay. All right, cool. So I mean, we just got to figure out, who's got the Ben Roethlisberger, and there's a couple other quarterbacks in there,
so
that played with those guys that were pretty badass. So
and Kenny Pickett sure in the hell could become that Ben Roethlisberger. He definitely
he ain't big enough to be Big Ben, but
well, no, but what I'm talking about is like
he's more like a Phillip Rivers kind of guy.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about like he could become one of those elite quarterbacks. Like he definitely showed us at the back half of that season that he's going to be damn good. So
okay, cool.
But sounds good. Like I said, thanks for joining me, Dad. Anyways, guys, I'm out. Let me know down in the comments below how you like my rankings, and I'll be doing one once I'll probably release one like we're gonna do during the preseason, and then once the regular season gets underway, I'll be doing one each month along with the NFL East.
This weekend coming up, and this week coming up, make sure real quick talk about the schedule reveal.
Oh,
NFL East, so NFL East podcast, we're going to be doing our schedule release a reaction to that this Saturday. But before that, Brandon, you got some stuff going on Thursday here on NFL Boy Brandon.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure whether they was going to be doing it or not because I had seen some speculation on Twitter, and I shared it into the NFL East Facebook page. If you're not following, go over to Facebook and type in NFL East, and it will bring you to the Facebook page and make sure that you like it. But yeah, there was some speculation about saying that the schedule release was supposed to be on Thursday, which now we know is confirmed. But it said that it could be pushed back. So I didn't want to make anything official just yet. But now it has become official, so now I can talk about it. So this Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, May 11th, they are going to be doing the season schedule release. I'm going to be doing a live reaction and a watch-along party on May 11th, starting at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A live reaction watch along party of the schedule release show. I don't know whether Dad's going to be joining me yet or not. That's maybe still.
I might be able to.
But this Saturday, like Dad said, over on NFL East, again, go onto youtube.com, type in NFL East podcast, and it will take you to our channel. Make sure you subscribe. We will be doing a live little breakdown of who's playing the holiday games and who got primetime games and how many wins do we think each one of those 8 teams is going to get.
Maybe some predictions and stuff.
Yeah, some fun shit over there. So make sure you tune in Thursday and Saturday. So it's going to be fun both days. So yeah, that's all the news that I got for you right now. And the next day or two, I am going to be making another video of breaking down the Lamar Jackson re-signing with the Baltimore Ravens. But anyways, guys, I love you all, and I am out unless you got anything else, Dan.
All I got to say is, Brandon, I hope you had a good birthday week. That was really cool, and you're awesome. And
Hey, yo, rate this outro, everybody. Rate this outro. I'll give it a 10. It's fire.
Happy birthday, Brandon.
Thank you very much, Dad.